Back. Episode 288. Figure I'd talk to you guys on the way home. I don't even know how I want to start this, but I'm gonna do my best. I I'm just gonna kind of put a little bit of this AC on here. All right. So let me see if I can gather my thoughts. Um, Today I went, thought about, going to the gym. I worked with a new client today. I had some stuff that was on my mind, and like these days, especially over the last couple of weeks, hey Midmo man, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you again. But yeah, man, I started out like feeling like so confident. I was like, yo, I'm gonna kill this leg workout, and I thought of my dad again, and man, like it's such a major drag. um then I listened to this song and read the lyrics to it. um and it just made me feel horrible about myself and the fact that I kind of allowed my dad to pass away alone, even though this is something that, we talked about time and time and time again, about how we felt about our, end of life wishes and plans. Um, but yeah, it, I guess I can kind of go back to the days where I, was hunting for some strength stuff, and I would like call my dad after I would train, really heavy, and a lot of it was like upper body stuff at the time, and I would train really heavy, and I'd be like, "Yo, like today I hit this new thing," and I used to get so annoyed because he would always be like, you got to be careful because you're gonna get hurt, and I don't want to see you get injured, and here I am working so hard to reach the next level, and I'm 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 grinding it out, and I'm working super hard, and he would be like, he wouldn't even like really like he would say, "Hey, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'm always going to be proud of you no matter what you do. You would just be careful." And he could kind of hear that I would kind of be annoyed because I'm like, "Yo, look, I just hit another personal best," you know. And he's like, listen, I know, this, that, and the third, but, I'm still your father, and I still want, you know, I'm still going to worry about you. I'm still going to worry about you. And here I am, you know, 40 years old at the time. And, he wasn't really there when I was really young, but, he was there for me in some of the worst times of my life when I was homeless at age 20. And today I went for a new personal best in the hack squat, and I could really feel, going from sets of three to sets of five. We're going to call reps 4 and 5 the championship rounds, because it takes a bit extra to get reps 4 and 5. It takes more when you're doing maximum strength to get those 2 reps than it takes to even get the first 3. And I can tell you that from experience. It takes a lot more to get that to get reps 4 and 5 than it takes to get reps 1, 2, and 3. And I worked so hard today, and I felt so good about what I was doing. And I got through the hack squat, 3 sets of 5 at 365, and I was on top of the world. And then I just jumped in. I put 6 plates on each side on the leg press, and I was reminded of something that Dr. Mike Israetel was talking about. If even if you're warmed up, if you change modalities, why do you still want to warm up for that? Not me, because I don't want to waste energy. I know Dr. Mike is right, but I'm still not going to do it. I just went. I put the 6 plates on each side, and I just went for it. And I felt the stress on my quads. I was squeezing the fuck out of my quads. I was stretching the fuck out of my quads. I was like really in it. I got past the first set. I almost started crying because I realized that as much as I don't want to hear how much I need to be careful from somebody who did not really take care of his body over the last 20 years of his life, and I had to hear him keep telling me that as I'm struggling and striving to be the best version and the strongest version of myself. I just I just kind of felt alone. I kind of felt a piece of my soul was was torn away again, because the thing that I felt so annoyed about in those moments, I wish I had that back. I wish, even though I don't need to hear how careful, and I thought about my approach to strength training and how much more careful about it I am this time around than even I was at this time last year when I went back to maximum strength from muscle building and bodybuilding. I really, really started to feel like, yeah, I understand. I understand that, yes, I need to be careful and blah, blah, blah. Like, I get it. But I, um, um, yes, I know you're super thirsty, guy. Go. You're super thirsty. Um, and that's why I tell you guys, if you're still fortunate to have your parents alive, even the stuff that sounds nonsensical, the stuff that's annoying, the stuff that you disagree with, just let them talk anyway. Because there's going to come a time, and I deal with this multiple times a week, where there's an emptiness. I go to get in the car and I'm like, yo, I want to call my father. And I know that if I call that number, it'll be like some random person picking up, like, who is this? Because that number went to somebody else. he's not going to pick up. All the times that I was tired and just didn't want to spend time with him talking my ear off, I look at this alternative a year and a half now with my father gone, more than a year and a half now. And I would rather sit here for 2 hours listening to him ramble than to not be able to talk to him at all. And it really caused me a lot of pain in my mind, in my heart today. Even as like I was laser focused, I felt powerful, I felt strong, I felt like I owned my leg day. I'm the strongest that I've ever been. And it's cool, sharing it with my friends and, especially people that I haven't really been vibing with for a long time. And then I'm like, oh, let me go hit this person up. And they ask me how I'm doing. I send them a video of another PB, and they're like, damn, you doing all that now? It's cool when, your friends are like, you know, um, it's cool when your friends are like impressed with, what you're working on. But I kind of prefer to be able to be made fun of and unnecessary cautions from my father. I just rather that. And I knew that that day would come eventually. I didn't honor the time when it was there. And I know a lot of you can relate to that. I think about every now and again, like I think about my dad more and more and more. And, people promised me that it would get better with time. It has not. It has not gotten better with time. Every time I achieve something and I can't share it with my dad. Anytime I got a new car, my dad would want to know about the technology in it. Oh, what's so good about this one? What's so great about that? And does it have this? And every time I get a new phone, anytime he got a new phone, he couldn't wait to share with me, you know, the cool stuff that's in it that he got this time, or ask me about some kind of consumer technology, or I'm pretty sure he would be asking me about AI right now and what I thought about it. And I just get none of that now. It's over. He's been gone 19, 20 months now. It's been 20 months since he's been gone. Sometimes I see, older guys that kind of, have similar physical features to my dad in different ways that remind me of him. And it's just soul crushing. And I gotta be real frank about it. It did kind of take some of the the luster off of a really productive leg day where I really do believe that I really did do some really good work today. Crossing over to, sets of 5 off of sets of 3 is actually a really big deal physically. It is actually a really big deal. But um uh I just go back to wishing that I could just talk to my dad about something. He would give me some perspective on, what's going on in Gaza. He would give me his opinion on what's going on with our current government, you know? His ex-wife, the one that helped put him in the early grave, likes to get new phone numbers and start texting me pictures and text messages. My dad used to always ask her, please, please, please stop texting and calling him. Please stop texting and calling him. And of course, she doesn't fucking listen. And I had to ask her again, please stop contacting me. You know, and I really want to be mean and tell the truth. Like, I don't want to hear anything from you. You killed my father. You put him in an early grave. I want to be like that, but I can't. So I just politely keep asking, please leave me alone. I don't want to have anything to do with you without, being a massive dick. Like I don't want to be that guy. But it's like, you're the reason that my father is dead today. you know, you're the reason. You're the reason he's gone. You're the reason he's gone. And you want to continue to keep forcing your presence in my life. You're the reason my father is gone. And there are some times where I really want the Dr. Evil Genius to come out, but I just can't let him. I have to try to let bygones be bygones. I have to try to be the bigger man. I have to try to, you know, think about how I could affect somebody else, or even near as bad as they've affected me. And, I just don't want to, I just don't want to, I just don't want to go there. I just don't want to go there. And, when I think about how I feel about my father not being around, you know, I would love to get like a an impromptu uh I would love to get an impromptu text message and surprise motherfucker. See, I wasn't really dead. But instead, I get weird messages from his ex-wife demanding to be recognized. It's like I don't want to know you. I didn't want him to marry you. I didn't want him to have kids with you because I thought that you would ruin his life. And not only did you ruin his life, you helped end his life. I was thinking a couple of days ago about Bush's baked beans, which is, you know, the last grocery shopping I did for my dad 2 years ago this month. I don't want to be I don't want to be that emotional right now, but man, it fucking hurts. It fucking hurts thinking about the last time I did a video chat with my dad and like, is these Bush, the Campbell's beans that he wanted weren't there. I was just like, but Bush's is good, man. He was like, yeah, I'll take that. Pork and beans. My dad loved that. And I got him the biggest can that I can get him. The last time I went to the store for my dad, like that played over my mind a few days ago. I got this stupid bitch sending me stupid ass text messages that I don't want, that he begged her to stop sending to me when he was alive. And I can't disrespect I, the way I want to. I just want to be like, bitch, stop fucking calling me. You killed my father. Fuck you. But I can't do it. I really want to, but I can't. And I go and I try to accomplish something new. try to move up in the world just a little bit. And when I think about one of the only few people that would be happy to hear about it, I can't call him. I can't talk to him. I can't get his opinions. I can't even get a light roasting session anymore because of the finality of his absence. He's like really, truly gone. Not like when I was a kid, like he's actually gone. He's not coming back. The final milk run for those who like racist jokes. The final milk run, the final cigarette run. But there's that finality where there's no question about whether or not he's coming back. He's not. You know, it's over. And the only thing that I have left is the memories of some of the crazy conversations we have, and the stupid bitch that won't stop calling and texting me no matter how much I want her to stop trying to get in contact with me. And I got to be reminded of the reason why he's no longer with us, and her presence is the constant reminder of that. So it really really pisses me off. But I really wish that I could um I wish I had that back. I really wish I had that back. And there's no way to get it back, unfortunately. But it really sucks because I really want to share a lot of my journey to be bigger and stronger. I just had dinner with Mrs. Evil's father, and I look at how he views her and how he views my place in her life. And I think about how my father viewed her and her place in my life. And, I kind of feel like I know what my father would say, but it's different, hearing it's much, much better to hear it. It's much, much better to hear how your parents feel about you and how they feel about what you accomplish in your life. It's much, much better to hear it from them rather than imagining what a conversation would be like. And I would just continue to keep working hard, trying really hard to get to that next level. I'll just keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. And, I'm still going to think of my dad and kind of try to hear that echo of his voice of him telling me to be careful. Like I hated hearing it, but what I wouldn't give to hear that again. Why does the pain of the absence have to persist like this? You know, but I imagine that I'm not the only person who has gone through this and continues to go through this. So this is why I just express these things to you guys, and sometimes you guys put it into words better than I can about what I'm experiencing. But yeah, it fucking blows, man. Even on a day where I'm just out here crushing shit, I feel emotionally crushed. And then there's that reminder that some people are happy their father is dead. And at least I had a positive feeling about my father. At least I had an opportunity to have somebody worth mourning in my life. And I try to think of that too, but that's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy to try to hold on to whatever silver lining or consolation that's there. But what else do I have rationally? What else do I have? I just, I don't know. But that is my stream of consciousness for today. I would hope that you guys continue to keep working towards all the things that you would like to accomplish in your lives. But I would think that in some ways, more importantly, it's more important for you guys to hold those that you are close to, hold them a little bit closer. Because on one end, you could really be missing that that um, that connection. But then it just hit me while I'm talking to you guys now that it's important for me to try to give all I can give to the people that value me because something unfortunate could befall me. There might be somebody out there that would start to hear echoes of my voice but wish to hear it again. I could end up being that important to somebody. And I guess that's a good reason to try to be the best person I can be and to try to give as much of the lessons that I've learned to as many people as I can. I can have a positive impact on my corner of the world, and I think that it is really important that I do so because I don't think my dad really thought that he was really all that important. But here I am 20 months later, 20 and a half months later, and I still get punched in the chest by the consequences of his absence. So if you're in a position of importance in somebody's life, give everything you can to them while you're still here. For those that you value, soak up as much of their essence, their human essence. Try to soak up as much of that as you can while they're still here. Because man, I never knew that someone's absence can be so detrimental, so painful. I mean, I knew that somebody's absence could be detrimental, but this painful as a 42-year-old man, and it just hits me in waves, boom, right in the chest. I'm never ready. I'm never ready for whenever that wave hits me. Value your peoples, yo. Value your peoples. That's what I got for you today. Thank you for continuing to support me on my journey towards a 500-pound deadlift. Special shout out to Method Man. I think I was just talking to somebody the other day that kind of runs in those rapper circles that knows these guys. Brooklyn Breeze, shout out to him. Um, I get a lot of my inspiration from Method Man since he celebrated age 50 by hitting a 500-pound deadlift. It gave me a lot of inspiration to go hard in the paint. So shout out to Method Man. Thank you for the inspiration. Um, um, yeah. Again, guys, thank you so much for continuing to support me on this channel. I really do appreciate you, and I appreciate your appreciation. I will see you on the next one, which will probably be on Sunday. Peace out.